Jon Rahm's leaving LIV Golf. Report suggests that one of the cornerstones, I guess, could you call it a pillar? Could you call it one of like the Mount Rushmores of LIV? If there was a Mount Rushmore of LIV, Max, like
in terms of actual like on tour performance of just like
no, just
reputation.
like the ones that they tried to build it around.
Bryson, obviously.
Right? Bryson DeChambeau,
Dustin Johnson, which is ironic because he wasn't very good already when they gave him all that money, and I don't think he was very good on LIV either.
Right,
but he's one of the four aces.
That's two. That makes sense.
Bryson, DJ. I mean, Rahm, he came a little bit later, but obviously he's like one of the most massive names there.
Yeah,
so
he's number one.
So I think you could include him there.
What, Cam Smith?
Yeah, kind of. Because his form really fell off basically as soon as they got him.
Right. So you're not going to say Brooks Koepka because he's back, but was he like one of the pillars? When they signed all these, like, is it Phil?
Yeah, it would probably be Phil. Even though, like, absolutely, like, his ability since basically creating or having a hand in creating and then going over there, he's completely, other than that one random second-place finish at the Masters in, was that 2024?
It did kind of come out of nowhere, didn't it?
Other than that, he's just completely dropped. I mean, it was the same was true when he won the PGA Championship in 2021. Like, it's not like he was playing well. Like, that was kind of out of nowhere, too. So, I mean, he hasn't played at a great level in a long time. But, yeah, I think that would be fair. So, Phil, Bryson, DJ, and Rahm.
So,
and I guess you could throw Greg Norman in there, but obviously he's not a player.
Yeah, I get it.
Not anymore.
I remember Greg Norman had like his own fashion line with Reebok back in the day. So a report out of the Telegraph is that LIV Golf expects Jon Rahm to depart LIV at season's end, which may be kind of like now. They're apparently still, you can still buy tickets for their Michigan Team Championship event, which was supposed to pay out like $40 million in purse money to its players. But apparently the players already have been informed of the cancellation, but you can still buy the tickets. At least you could. But as of like yesterday, you couldn't. So maybe they're done. So with Rahm bailing, this actually helps them out. Like, this is LIV in its full course correction. But at this point, Max, and I think I could speak for most people who at least just follow golf, if LIV was unwatchable before, by only having maybe one or two players that are still kind of recognizable, like, and only 10 events, this becomes an absolute exhibition. This is almost like that TGC golf thing, that indoor golf thing that that Tiger was behind, that shows up on ESPN like right after football season. It's just like this full sideshow that I'm not sure anybody really wants to dive into, this LIV 2.0. This is a mistake that is being corrected. And if Rahm leaves, he is correcting his own personal mistake. Like, these mistakes, I put this out there because what is happening now with this Jayden Daniels 5 thing in LSU can still be corrected if Jayden Daniels actually isn't listening to his family, as the statement suggests, and are saying that this is, this is not great for his legacy, and he wants to pull all the NIL stuff from LSU. There's a photo that came out yesterday after practice where a very large group of LSU players at practice were all wearing the number 5 because there is a player on the LSU team that wears the number 5. Like, it has nothing to do with Jayden Daniels at all. The number was given to cornerback DJ Pickett, who last year had a very good freshman season. And now that he's there and Pickett has come out and kind of no-played it, he says, yeah, Jayden was a good player. That was like it. Respect for that guy. But he's still wearing the number 5. And now Daniels has escalated it, apparently. These are reports. Beyond the cease and desist to LSU, that he now wants the Heisman Trophy back that LSU has a replica of on display. And I'm like, I'm not sure what we're trying to accomplish at this point by trying to pile on. Like, someone did him wrong somewhere. And there's some ego at play. There's no doubt about that. I mean, I'm probably on both sides. Like, hey, listen, we're LSU. We gave you an opportunity. Thank you for the Heisman Trophy win. And we're glad. Are you cutting checks to us? Maybe you are, maybe you aren't. We're still making money on your 5. That's pretty clear. But now that we're talking about, okay, Don't use my name anymore. Keep my name out of your mouth, essentially. Give me back the trophy that I earned, and it's a replica. Not that they couldn't 3D print a trophy at this point. I mean, you could find somebody with a good 3D printer. You could print up anything you want. Like, if you can print up small little gears for, model trains, and you can print up, gas caps, and you can print up anything. Like, with a 3D printer, you could get yourself another Heisman Trophy that nobody would really notice because you're putting it under glass anyway. Have you been to these places that put that stuff on display? You could see it right up here at the football center here at NC State. Like, their bowl trophies are behind glass. It's not like you can walk up to them and grab them and shake them and put them over your head and go, hey, get a picture of this. Give me a selfie of this, holding this. No, you don't get to hold that trophy. Not unless somebody hands it to you. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if the Canes 3D printed a trophy and just put it on display. They should. They should put a 2006 trophy and a 2026 trophy 3D printed somewhere at the front of Lenovo Center, right next to the big statue of Rod Brindamore. Like, these are all possibilities. But this is a mistake that could be corrected by Daniels and could be corrected by LSU if cooler heads would prevail. If it wasn't about ego. If we could set things aside and roll things back a little bit. Just kind of let things simmer for a hot second. That's Max. I'm Paul. Next up here on 99.9 The Fan. I'm not saying this is a mistake, but it feels like a nostalgia trip. And I know a lot of you who have moved here from other places, because not everybody is a Carolina Southeast native. Like, we talk about things longingly because of the nostalgia factor, right? If you ever saw Inside Out 2, the Disney movie, there's a character within Inside Out 2. The character's name is Nostalgia. And it's this old lady who just shows up every once in a while to remind you of something. And when things shut down, specifically when things shut down or fall over, it's like the tree in your backyard that falls over in the storm that you carved your initials in or you had a tire swing on. And I grew up in a place where you could hang tire swings on trees without having an HOA going. What are you hanging a tire from the back of your tree from? When those trees fall down, when those places close down, that little old lady or that little old man comes up from the basement, nostalgia, and goes, "Oh, remember when? Oh, remember when?" And a lot of folks are getting that taste right now here in the Raleigh area. Yesterday, it was made official. After rumors several months ago that it was going to happen, the owners of Adventure Landing in Raleigh on Capitol Boulevard came out and said, we are closing down on Sunday. Sunday's our last day of operation. We are not renewing our lease. Thank you for 38 years of, what's the word I just used, folks? Nostalgia. And that's what's coming out right now. Like, there's this big kind of group of things, and I say that out loud because, again, I mentioned not everybody grew up in Raleigh having a birthday party at the same place, or race go-karts, or play miniature golf, or hit in the batting cages like they did at Adventure Landing. You come from other places. Some of you know the carnival at Carolina Beach. Like, that was your nostalgia. Some of you from New York have trips to Coney Island as part of your nostalgia. Cedar Point in Ohio is part of your nostalgia. There are small little things that come along with nostalgia. There's a miniature golf place where I grew up. I remember the name, right next to Funland, which was the arcade, and Fascination, which was the arcade next to Funland. There was an indoor miniature golf place that had tilt-a-whirl carts and had miniature golf and you put it into the clown's nose. It was called 10 Tiny T's. That's my nostalgia.
Are we comparing Cedar Point to Adventure Landing?
No. We are not. I'm saying that there's a nostalgia for everybody that comes along with it. That there's a place that everybody holds in their heart that is like this grand, great uproar that comes along with it when it comes out there. And everyone goes, oh, man, I remember back. And all the memories are always from some time like 20 years ago or 30 years ago. I remember back in 1996 when this thing happened. And I get it. We do it with sports all the time. I remember when. I know these things. It's the animatronics at Chuck E. Cheese that no longer exist, right? You walk into a Chuck E. Cheese these days, it's been a hot second, but you walk into a Chuck E. Cheese these days, it's video boards now. There's no song and dance. There's no animatronic movement or whatever. It's all just electronic tablets and tables. That is the new world that we live in. And I love go-karts. There's a million places now you can do indoor go-karting in around the triangle. Like, they're all fantastic. I've been to all of them. They're great. And they all have games in them and things like that. I mean, but the nostalgia of going outside and racing in a go-kart that, rattles your head around a little bit and you bump tires and you bump into the metal rails and things like that. I mean, that's wonderful. You can still smell it. If you close your eyes and remember the first time that you went go-karting, you can smell it. And then it wears away, and then all you have left is that nostalgia. So take the time, shed the tear, share the moment, and go, why didn't it survive? And you go, what are we doing outside? When's the last time you took your kids outside? When's the last time you rolled into a backyard or a park or wherever it is? And instead of crying and whining and moaning and lamenting the fact that something's gone, go create something new. I'm not saying go open another Adventure Landing 2.0. That's not the idea. A lot of you have great memories there in terms of birthday parties and playing putt-putt and hanging out in go-karts and, again, batting cages, and we could go on and on and on for the last 3 decades about that. It will be a loss for sure. But in the loss, try to find something in the smoke and the fire in that loss that you can build upon, that you can do something new with your children, something new to create another piece of nostalgia. Because you will look back on something, again, that tree that was in your backyard that fell down, that you thought, oh man, it's lost forever. You will look at that Adventure Landing moment that you had with the pictures of you, trying to put your head in the shark at the right little angle, or playing putt-putt at the top of the hill, or rolling it past the squirting elephant. You'll have those little things, but create something new. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying not enjoy the fact that you have that piece of nostalgia. Not everybody gets to have that moment. We can all share in that as well. Just saying, we all have that from a million places. It's not just you're seeing these posts on socials and you're looking at it and you go, oh man, now back in 1996 that was great, man. I see these posts, I'm like, that must have been great for that person. And you roll back to where you grew up and you have those same kinds of posts, those same kind of feelings of nostalgia that come along with it. And those are good things. Just remember to take the next step once you take the moment of nostalgia. Like, go create something new in that moment. Go find something else that you can look back on again fondly in 20 years. Because I will not look fondly on Capitol Boulevard in 20 years, I promise you. I despise Capitol Boulevard. I'm like, there's so much that could be and so much that isn't. And then just let's compound the fact that nobody around here knows how to drive on that stretch of road. Not one person.
I'm Max Goren with 3 things you need to know right now from 99.9 The Fan. The Carolina Panthers will face off with the Buffalo Bills at their new stadium at Orchard Park, New York tomorrow. Catch coverage of that preseason game as well as all Panthers games this season on our family station Mix 101.5 with kickoff scheduled for 1 p.m. The NBA released its full regular season schedule yesterday, and the Charlotte Hornets will open their season on Wednesday, October 21st in Brooklyn against the Nets. Charlotte will face LaMelo Ball and the Minnesota Timberwolves on the road on January 29th, and he will return to Charlotte on February 15th. The Durham Bulls snapped a 3-game losing streak last night, defeating the Memphis Redbirds 3-2. That series continues tonight at the DBAP. Bulls coverage is available on 620 AM Buzz Sports Radio, 99.9 FM HD2, and WRAL News Plus, with first pitch scheduled for 6:45 p.m. For all the latest news on your favorite teams, download the 99.9 The Fan app or visit 999thefan.com.
Hey, Tim Donnelly and The Drive will be at Wake Forest High School this afternoon from 3 to 6 ahead of the High School OT Jamboree at Trentini Stadium at Wake Forest High. Tickets still available through highschoolot.com. $15 in advance. It'll be $20 at the gate, so save yourself some money. Just saying. And Max Goren will be out there as well. He might sign some autographs for you. Will you? Will you sign an autograph?
I guess if someone wanted an autograph, I would sign it.
There you go.
I don't anticipate that happening.
Have you practiced your autograph before, ever?
I usually just kind of go with like an initial.
Okay.
Just like so, it's a quick slide. I don't want to give it away too much. I don't want people to start forging my.
I'm just saying. Do you emphasis on the M or the X in your first name?
Well, if I just do the initial, there's just like an M and a G.
Okay.
And then if I do a full signature, I will just write my first name out, and then it's just like a G, and it's basically just like a long line after that.
Okay.
The other letters don't really make it the rest of the way.
I'm sorry to hear about the other letters. They probably feel left out.
Yeah. Well, I think they'll be okay.
They'll be fine. Last night, as we talked about things that you could or could not watch on television, last night was the Field of Dreams game on Netflix. The presentation was okay. It was more about the setting. In front of 7,000 people in a Iowa cornfield, they played baseball. Philadelphia beat Minnesota. Kyle Schwarber hit a couple of bombs. That's what you need to know. But they staged that there because the Field of Dreams, the movie Field of Dreams, which is just shy of 40 years old, kind of put baseball in a place where it wasn't supposed to be. And it's where the argument comes in with Field of Dreams is, does it still actually hold up? There are lots of people that have not seen this film. They don't. Even some major leaguers, many major leaguers, were not alive when this film was released. They know Kevin Costner from many other things. As a matter of fact, they probably know Kevin Costner because of Yellowstone more than they know Kevin Costner from the string of baseball movies that he has been in, which includes For Love of the Game, Field of Dreams, and, of course, the classic Bull Durham. But for a lot of folks, Field of Dreams doesn't quite hold up the way it needs to hold up. It feels, for some, a little delusional. Like it is absolute movie fantasy. But as I just talked about less than 10 minutes ago, there's that hook of nostalgia that comes into play. And if you had to reinvent Field of Dreams now for a new audience 40 years later, like everything's getting rebooted, right? We have a new Air Bud movie coming. All-inclusive Air Bud. I'm not quite sure how they're pulling this one off. They just are. It's the same bit. The dog plays basketball. If you had to reboot Field of Dreams, would it actually hold up today? Like, if you were going to bring back, like, imagine this, for some of you old heads out there, as I'm doing revisionist history here, walking out of the corn stalks, Pete Rose. Would that make as much sense in terms of telling that story today? Like, you would, like, the Kevin Costner character in this movie, if you're familiar with the movie, he basically builds a baseball field in a cornfield in the middle of Iowa. He's got a brother who kind of cautions him against doing it because he sees these revolutions and hears these voices. He has a wife who's kind of all in and kind of all out at the same time. And then Kevin Costner has to go convince a legendary sports writer to show up and see what he is seeing, which he is able to convince because of essentially Beetlejuice, poltergeists, Ghostbusters, whatever it is. If you had to reimagine that today, I'm not sure how it would play or if it would be even well received. It would feel like one of those movies that would be like Hallmark or made for TV almost. Because what would you be? Pete Rose would come out of the corn. And then, the character's father would also be part of this. I'm spoiling Field of Dreams, folks. I'm sorry. He would have to, kidnap like an influencer, like Mr. Beast, to show up and go, Ray, there's one constant in America, baseball. Could you imagine that being delivered by Mr. Beast? And I'm not saying Mr. Beast would be a bad choice. I'm just trying to imagine that could this movie actually hold up in current times? I'm not sure that it could, even with the play of nostalgia that would now be 100 years old. And you're talking to a person right now, and I'm not trying to squash the idea of the Field of Dreams movie. I think it's a great movie. But the nostalgia of it, I'm not sure that it would hold up anymore when it comes to other baseball films that are out there because our attention spans are shorter. They have changed a ton. Good storytelling is good storytelling. There's no doubt about it. There's no doubt about it. But it's what makes baseball, not drama, but perhaps documentary, speak a little bit louder because we like that real stuff where there's a podcast about Shohei Ohtani's agent interpreter gambling. Why we have the Jackie Robinson biopic that was absolutely amazing. Which is why Bull Durham still holds up today, because it was a comedy with a good story. Like, you always wonder why Bob Uecker didn't get a shot at Best Supporting Actor in Major League. I thought he was great in that film. That would have been just kind of out of the ordinary. Anyway, food for thought as you head into your midsummer weekend.